Hello and welcome to the month of May. I'm so excited you're here and a part of the Always Active community. So, this month, what we're working on is our thoracic scapular principle that's from Pilates, but it's also relevant through our yoga practice. Um, what this is, the thoracic body is anywhere from the neck down to our rib cage. So this is our thoracic body. It includes our thoracic spine, our shoulder girdle, and our scapula. The scapula are these bones at the back of essentially your shoulder blades. So what these bones do, they have three different types of movements. So they have elevation, where we raise them to our shoulders, and depression, where we lower them down. They have upward rotation, where the arms actually come up overhead, and then downward rotation, where they come back down. They're also responsible for protraction and retraction. So protraction is when the shoulder blades come forward, and retraction is when they come back. So those are the essential movements of this body. Now, what's important in this principle is finding the stability through our rib cage, through our shoulder blades, because there's so many muscles interconnected in this region. So it's finding that stability so that our diaphragm, the muscle underneath our lungs that goes down and up as we respirate, so inhale and exhale, so that can move freely. We have full range of motion while the thoracic body is stable. So let's look at this a little bit. So you can come to a cross-legged position, and I want you just to sit comfortably, noticing where your shoulders align over your rib cage, over your hips. So notice where that is for you. What we're going to do is as we inhale, we're going to start to lift our arms up overhead. Start to notice where your rib cage is going to start to flare open. So that little movement where the rib cage is opening forward and you're kind of arching through that upper back. So that's going to be your end point, because what we're trying to do is keep that rib cage stable, avoid flaring it open. So we're going to inhale, reach your arms up to the sky, pausing where that flare out is for you. And then as you exhale, bring your arms back down. So inhaling to lift them up towards the sky, pausing where that rib cage starts to move, and exhale, come back down. And then start to play with your core engagement. So pulling your low belly in as you lift your arms helps to stabilize that rib cage. You might be able to find a little bit more movement. Exhale down. Play around with this, noticing that there is muscles that run from the bottom of our rib cage down to our hip bones. I like to refer to those as our suspender muscles as we're going through Pilates. So if you squeeze them tight to really stabilize that rib cage, our arms can move up and down. Movement is just coming from the shoulders. That rib cage is not moving. You're stable. Strong. You can also play around with this lying on your back. So if you come to lie on your back, on our inhale, we're taking our arms up overhead, noticing where that rib cage flare out starts. Pausing, pulling the belly in, core engaged. See if you can find a little bit more range. Back up. That's essentially the principle we're going to be working with through the whole entire month with our shoulders and the thoracic cavity. Now, let's look at a little bit of strengthening and stretching this body through our moves of the month. So I have a progression because we're all in different areas. So we're going to start lying down in about a fetal position. So we want our knees at about 90-degree angles. Our arms are going to be extended straight from our shoulders, the shoulder blades kind of stacked upon one another. Our head can be resting on the earth, or you can have it slightly elevated. On our inhale, we're going to take that top arm, start to draw it back, twisting into a knee down twist. As you exhale, come back through center. So inhaling to open, exhaling to come back. And just noticing how this feels through that thoracic body, through the rib cage, through that upper back. Do one more. And then we'll switch sides. So flipping onto your other side, we're gonna find that fetal position again. Arms extend from the shoulders. Inhale to reach that top arm, reach it back. As you exhale, come back through center. So here, the movement in our hips is stabilized. We're not drawing the whole hip back, coming down onto the earth. We're just letting that shoulder blade open and back. So it's just coming from the thoracic body. And then to breathe into it, finding that full knee down twist, drop the top arm all the way to the earth. Allow that shoulder to draw back, which means the hips are going to shift a little bit. Gaze can turn out towards that top arm to find your knee down twist. And then hold for 5 breaths. Okay, coming back up. Now what we're going to do is come into a tabletop position. So here, our palms are underneath our shoulders, our knees are underneath our hips. We're pulling that low belly in to support our low back, but also to keep that the thoracic cavity stable. Our fingertips are widespread and pressing in between that index finger and your thumb. Your left hand is going to come behind that left ear, pulling that low belly in. As we inhale, we open up to the left. As you exhale, draw that elbow towards the right. Inhale to open, exhale to close. So this is bringing mobility into that upper back, into that thoracic cavity. You want to keep your core engaged. So we're supporting here so that we feel strong in our body. One more. And then we'll lower that hand to the earth, switching sides. Bring your right hand behind your right ear. Feeling strong here, low belly pulled in. Inhale to open the right elbow to the sky. Exhale, come back. Inhale to open. Exhale, come back. Just focusing on the sensations through that upper back, through the shoulders, that thoracic body. One more. Good, lower that palm down. We're gonna walk our hands towards our torso. We're gonna come into our low lunge. So here, the right knee is right over that right ankle. You're pressing into that left knee. You're drawing your right hip back, your left hip forward. So we're gonna start by inhaling our arms forward. Your foundation here. So belly in, shoulders are soft, feeling that foundation. On our inhale, we're gonna open that left arm, twisting open. Exhale, bring it closed. So inhale to open, exhale to close. Again, finding that range of motion through the thoracic body, building strength through all those little muscles that support us through that shoulder. More. And then let's switch sides. So finding your foundation here, left hip draws back, right knee plants. Inhale those arms forward, exhale to release. As we inhale, we open that right arm, draw it back, exhale to close. Inhale to open, exhale to close. Those are our mobility moves of the month to really build strength and mobility through that thoracic region. Now, here are a couple stretches we can do to help just release some of that area. So one of them being our thread the needle. I'll give you 2 options of thread the needle. So we can come into our child's pose, knees wide, arms extended long. Take that right arm threaded underneath the left. Your gaze can look towards that right hand. And the farther you walk your fingertips away from each other, the deeper that stretch will be. This feels good for you. Staying here for 3 breaths. Option is when we slowly come up, we can come into a tabletop instead. Inhaling that left arm to the sky, thread that left arm underneath the right. Keeping those hips high above our knees, our right hand can then walk ahead. The further you walk your fingertips away from each other, the deeper that stretch is going to be. And then let your torso be heavy and breathe into the chest. And then when you're ready to come back out of this one, press your right palm underneath your right shoulder. Inhale to lift up, and then exhale to come back. Then let's just drop our knees down, finding your foundation here, shoulders stacked over hips, pulling that belly in. I invite you just to reach your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, and stretch through the chest. So we're rolling the shoulder blades back and down. We're squeezing them tight. But here we're not arching that back. We're keeping everything engaged and just drawing those shoulder blades together. Our shoulders are dropping down away from our ears, and the crown of our head is reaching towards the sky. Now, option here, you can drop your head side to side to stretch through that neck. You can roll your head side to side. Just really breathing through that chest and that opening here. Amazing. So that's what we're working on this month. Other exciting things inside the Motherhood Movement is on Thursday evening, we're going to be doing our goal setting workshop. So come set your goals for the month. We're going to incorporate all thoracic scapular through every one of our programs: prenatal, yoga and Pilates, postpartum yoga and Pilates, and the strengthening, the Pilates HITT and the yoga flow. We're really working on developing this area because no matter what you do, we need to open. Maybe you're sitting at a desk. Maybe you're still in the throes of postpartum and you're feeding your baby. So you're hunched over. So we're really working on this place. Maybe you're an active swimmer or volleyball player, surfer, anything. We're all using our upper bodies. So let's focus on that and build strength. So we will see you inside the Motherhood Movement.